I have put off literally half the day recording this video because I'm like, who in the world do I decide to feature for today's prompt? Hello friends, happy Wednesday. So very excited that you're here. Like I said, I put off filming this video because there's just so many characters who fit this prompt, and featuring just 5 plus an honorable mention, so much pressure. But in case if you're not familiar with Top 5 Wednesday, in a nutshell, basically each week I answer a prompt using 5 books, but in this case I do manga to reflect the said prompt. And today's prompt is favorite couples. We are just taking a chance, an opportunity to gush about couples we love and why we love them. There are so many different couples that I absolutely love in manga, specifically shoujo manga for sure. I mean, I was looking at my manga and I was just like, there's so many coming to mind that I would love to feature. And so I decided to do a little bit of something different. I'm still talking about my favorite couples, but I decided to go with couples I have not talked about in quite some time, -1, but we're gonna go with that one because I'm like, that one has to be featured today. Couples like Yona and Hawk, Yo and Haruna from High School Debut, Iku and Dojo from Library Wars, Itsuomi and Yuki from A Sigh of Affection. I mean, these are couples I love and admire so very much. They are so wonderful, very beautiful, but I'm like, I feel like those are my go-to couples to gush about favorites, rightfully so, but I'm like, okay, let's try and think outside of the box, so to speak, and feature couples that I feel like I really have not talked about on my channel very much, and I absolutely love these couples as well. So I'm sort of doing like my secondary faves rather than my first faves, so everybody, all my couples, can have some love and attention today. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start off with number 1. I don't think I've talked about this manga literally since the beginning of the year when I had COVID, and that is Lady Aurora and Lord Felix from the Fiancé, chosen by the Ring. Oh my goodness, I have volume 4. I have not read it yet. I am waiting for that right opportunity because I really want to do a review on this series. It is such a sweet fantasy romance, and I love these two. The way that they respect one another reminds me a lot of Shirayuki and Zen. They're always growing as individuals and encouraging, encouraging one another. Sorry, I didn't finish my sentence. But like, there's a moment with Lady Aurora where she has an opportunity to better herself and her magical abilities, but it would have to be at the risk, or however you want to say that, where she cannot spend the same amount of time that she is right now with Lord Felix. And Lord Felix is definitely feeling convicted, at least as of volume 3, because again, I haven't read volume 4, where he really wants to be with her, but he also sort of doesn't want her to, I'm not gonna say he doesn't want her to pass this opportunity. I feel like that's a little bit of a stretch. It wouldn't be fully true, but he does really want to see her grow in her magical abilities, because embroidery is something that she loves, because the premise is she is I believe she is a noble woman, though she's more on the lower end of things, and Lord Felix is like in the top 3, or if not, I think the best guardsman in this kingdom. His magical abilities are really strong. He's very prestigious. He's also of noble birth, noble blood, however you want to say that. His ring chooses Lady Aurora at this ball, and she's just there to appreciate the dresses, the embroidery that's going on, because that is what she loves. Well, they get engaged after the ring chooses her, and that is sort of their unfolding love story, and it's very beautiful, very, very sweet, very fluffy. Like I said, the respect they have for one another, and the way that it's sort of like a slow burn romance in a sense of how they're getting to know each other. If you sort of like that proper medieval kind of romance where they exchange letters, they have to go through different situations, they have to go through the father to create a meetup of sorts, then this is a really fun one to check out. It's just so sweet, and I feel like it's very underrated, but I was rereading this volume as well as a little bit of volume 1, and I'm like, they have these sweetest moments, like when they come back and they reunite after being apart due to, I think, Aurora's family's on vacation. She goes with them, so she can't be around Lord Felix, because they were meeting up once a week or every few days to have lunch together and just talk, and it's so great because rather than them being a couple for like, she loves books and he wants to take her to the bookstore, she loves crafts, and she's like, will you take me to the craft store? And he's like, yes, I'll do anything. If that's where you want to go, that is where we're gonna go. Really need to read volume 4, because somebody on Twitter, I can't remember who it was, they were sharing about this series and they're like, volume 4 is amazing, you need to hurry up and read it. And I'm like, I need to hurry up and read it. For number 2, I don't remember the last time I talked about this manga, and that manga is I'm the Villainess, so I'm Taming the Final Boss, and that is Aline. I hope I'm saying her name right. I always second guess if I'm saying it right, but Aline and Claude. They are amazing. I finally actually got my pin of Prince Claude. I love them. I was also rereading this volume and the previous volumes a little bit, and I'm just like, they're so great. They have so much humor in their relationship because of Aline, because of the actions that she's taking, because she has been reincarnated into this Otome game of sorts, and the thing is, she's the villainess, and every single route that she's looking at leads to her death. And she's like, no, I don't want that, so I am going to go tame the final boss, so to speak, the Demon King, and get him to fall in love with me and get him to marry me. So it's a lot of her shenanigans of trying to woo him, and through a variety of situations that she thinks will not be in her favor, actually in a way work out in her favor, and they start to fall in love, and it's just so funny and so great. I love this 3rd volume. I cannot wait for the 4th and final volume of the manga to come out, because I thought it was just 3, and I guess technically, yes, that is the full, I think it's the first full volume 1 of the light novels, because volume 4 of the manga is just a bunch of side stories. But I miss them. I love them, especially when they're finally together, so to speak, and there's not as many shenanigans. It's a different kind of shenanigan, you know, it's like, yes, especially the ending. This is one of my favorite seinen titles that I've read. It's literally one I think I've read at least 3 times, because I just have a blast. The characters are everything, and just seeing Aline slowly fall for Claude and Claude slowly fall for her, even though like his moment of where he's like, okay, I think I might sort of be on board, but I want to make you cry first. And she's like, why? Why would that be the thing that you want to do? And it's interesting seeing how that comes into play later on in the story, but they are a beautiful and wonderful couple as well, and just so much humor and shenanigans. I'd highly recommend this series. I do have a review of it. I need to catch up on finishing the anime, because I watched, I think that the amount where it covered the manga series, and it was really fast, and I haven't decided, do I want to keep watching, because I've had so many people encourage me to read the light novels, and I'm like, well, I love this couple, I love this series, I need to go read it, but I've just been on the fence. So if you also want to go check out the anime, I definitely would recommend it as well. For number 3, this couple has to be on this list, and that is Yagu and Sarumi. I love them. I feel they are one of the best. Yes, one of the best. I had to think about that because of Sign of Affection immediately came to mind, but that's like a shoujo josei. This is specifically shoujo. Sarumi and Yagu, I love their relationship. This is one of my favorite ongoing shoujo manga. It's so sweet, has the perfect balance of some humor, of sweetness, of, I was gonna say spice, but this is not Powerpuff Girls. Man, it's hard to put it into words of what it is I specifically like about them. I really love how Sarumi pushes herself, no pun intended if you've read the beginning, pushes herself in really sort of pursuing Yagu and confessing to him. And how Yagu, I was gonna say he rolls with it, but no, he genuinely gets to know Sarumi, and just seeing their love unfold and bloom in this series has been very, very rewarding. There is a new romance that's on page if you've read the latest volume, and at first I was like, oh no, don't put my main ship here on the back burner. But no, I really have enjoyed seeing where that romance unfolds, and we definitely get plenty of Sarumi and Yagu. I do agree with the creator that they're sort of like a middle-aged married couple, and I'm like, that is exactly what I'm here for. I love the communication between them. You don't have to worry about a bunch of drama, just them being super cute together and dreaming of the future, just getting closer every single day. It's a very wonderful, beautiful shoujo manga that I would highly recommend. It's almost slice of life in a sense. I'm hesitant to use that, but you definitely see a lot of their everyday today life with them just being a couple, and I'm 100% here for it, and just another couple that I deeply, deeply love. For number 4, I really feel like this shoujo manga is gonna be in my top 10 shoujo manga, favorite manga of this year, and that is A Condition Called Love. These two precious little beans, oh my goodness, so good. I am so glad that during the shoujo event that I was hosting that this manga was in the top 10, I believe, or the top 5, or top 6. It was in the very top, I do know that. That got some of the most votes, and I definitely plan to review this on my channel. I'm so excited we are getting the anime, because this love story is so very different, I feel like, compared to a lot of shoujo romances that I have read. Let me see if I can say his name. It's really, really long, and I feel like I always get tongue-tied. It's Hanonoi, I hope I said his name right, and Hotaru. They have a very beautiful relationship as well. And I know I've said that literally about all of the couples I have featured today, but I really, really mean it. I feel like theirs is a little bit on a different level because Hanami, I feel like he is a young man who is deeply hurting and he is searching for love, while Hotaru is sort of the opposite, where she doesn't know if she'll ever fall in love. She doesn't, nicely, she doesn't get the point of love, but she doesn't quite understand love. And these two come together. She ends up helping Hanami after a really bad breakup. He comes to her the next day and is like, will you be my girlfriend? And that is the beginning of their romance. When you read A Condition Called Love, you see that there is something special. There's something different about them. They are both exploring what love is, and it sort of feels in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, that Hanami has a very almost red flag kind of boyfriend material to him, but I truly feel, and this is one of those rare moments in shoujo manga where I love the romance, I adore the couple, but I want this young man to find healing for his life. I feel like he's just had some really bad things that have happened in his life that have made him maybe not anxious, but very fearful of being alone, and that he will not ever be worthy of somebody's love. And then on the flip side with Hotaru, it has been beautifully satisfying seeing her realize what love is, experience it for herself, especially with this great young man. How they come together is very wonderful. The latest volume, volume 3, there was Valentine's Day, and I love seeing these two precious beings together. They have very awkward moments, but very relatable moments, and it's just been, again, very rewarding seeing them grow closer together. I would highly recommend this one. It gives me a little bit of Strobe Edge vibes, only in the sense of Hotaru asking, what is love? How does she love someone? It reminds me of Strobe Edge only in that sense. It's very different than Strobe Edge in the characters, but it's one I sort of feel if you like Strobe Edge, but you want something even deeper, A Condition Called Love is one I would definitely check out. I cannot wait to see these little precious beings on screen in an anime. It is going to be so beautiful and absolutely love them. For number 5, I had to feature them, and that is Shirayuki and Zen from Snow with the Red Hair. I mean, I just finished reading all 25 volumes, did a review last week, and I'm like, these two are absolutely amazing. And can we just pause for a second? Why is this the only cover that has Shirayuki and Zen together? And we even have Obi, though. I'm like, there better be at some point, whether they're finally married or something, where Shirayuki and Zen have their moment on cover in all their beautiful coupleness, because I love them. They have such a healthy and beautiful and amazing relationship. A lot of the times I mentioned, well, in the video review, I mentioned large part of the duration of this manga, they're not together. But what's so amazing is how they encourage one another to better themselves, to pursue their dreams, pursue their passion. It's been such a wild ride, but such a beautiful and emotional one. I'm sorry, guys, I keep using the word beautiful. Stop it, Laura. Use other words in your vocabulary. It's very wonderful. I'm not going to gush too much about them, but know that they are definitely in one of my top 10 couples ever. I adore their relationship so much. It's a very amazing thing to see unfold and seeing them grow closer. Highly recommend Snow with the Red Hair. For my honorable mention, they're technically not quite a couple, but they are. If you've read it, then you know what I mean. And that is Miss Miyazen Would Love to Get Closer to You. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to read volume 4. It's the final volume. I've already sort of like read bits and pieces of it. I should have just sat down and read all of it. But I love these two beings. They are so precious. They are a couple that you just can't help but root for and getting closer. Miyazen and he has a really long name too. Matsubayashi. He's a really long name. He is so precious. Miyazen is so precious. I love them. This is such an underrated shonen romance that I would just strongly recommend. The art is beautiful. And like I said, you just can't help but root for them to get closer. Every time I read them, even before this video, I was skim reading this volume and I'm like, they're so adorable. I'm like, I love them so much. They're so awkward. Like, out of any of the couples I featured today, they have the most awkward moments, but it's so precious. Again, you want to cheer for them. You want the best things for them. And I cannot wait to see everything unfold in the 4th volume. It is such a joy to read these volumes and see what exactly are they going to do to get closer. And then what misunderstanding is going to happen that they're like, oh, maybe they don't actually like this or get what I was trying to say. When the other person's like, oh, oh, I think I got the reference. Like, no, they probably didn't mean that. Like, yes, they did. It's so adorable. Another romance I would highly recommend. I feel like is super underrated. The friends I know who have read it have loved it. It's so easygoing and so wonderful. I love them so much. And even though they're not really a couple per se just yet, I had to feature them because they're amazing. I love these two awkward little beings. I really do. And I need the best of things for them in that final volume. And that, my friends, wraps up all of my picks for secondary couples that I absolutely love. They're in my favorites. I love all these couples so much. Like I said, it was so hard. Please don't be sad if you're like, Laura, you didn't feature Yona and Hawk, but you featured Shirayuki and Zen, as well as, you know, like from Sign of Affection, high school debut, all of them. They're so great, but these couples are great too, and I was thankful for the chance to gush about them. Totally let me know, have you read any of these or any of these couples, maybe your favorites, and or if not, who are some of your favorite couples in fiction? I would love to hear from you, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!